Where is everybody?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Walter.
How is Palm Springs?
Very nice. Actually, it's a little cool this evening.
Yeah, it's cool here tonight. Also, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sitting with a sweater on. So is
Yeah.
Kenny, that strong man of who goes to the North Pole all the time over there,
Mr. Montana.
Mr. Montana.
It's cold every night in LA. It's warmer in Montana.
You're having a ace of coffee, Harold?
Of course, I need that. I need to stay awake. I need to be sharp.
You always
There's
look
Rabbi.
sharp, Harold. You don't have to worry. You look
Yeah,
sharp.
I look
I
sharp.
promise you that.
I wish my brain was sharp.
What do you mean? I think you leave that shirt in Palm Springs, Harold. I've never seen it in LA.
No,
That's
I haven't.
like
By the
a
way, Ernie,
desert wardrobe.
Mazel tov. Where's the l'chaim for everybody on this?
Yeah.
What's the matter with you? You have an anicle and that's it. You don't talk about it.
It just happened in the last hour.
A Bas coin too.
Mazel tov.
That's going right.
Bascoin is correct.
That's going.
She can
I
eat
don't know.
truma for a
What's
long
the,
time.
I don't know. Everyone makes a big deal. Baskoyan. What's that like? What does she get?
Truma. She gonna be able
She
to eat
gets straight, you know,
eat for
that
free.
normally, if a bas coin is treated more stringently, if she's
Yeah.
zana, she's killed through sreifa. There's not
What you have to talk
not
about.
for any Jewish girls that we know,
Right.
but bas coin has more stringencies placed on her. Listen to this, what I heard tonight, that you brought up bas coin, Kenny.
I mean, it's depressing because here she grows up in a Kahanasa house, and she'll have to get married off, most likely to non-Kayan, and that's it. No
Listen
truma,
to
no
this.
kava, no nothing.
Listen
And
to
she's
this.
got all these threats of punishment. What's
Give her
going
a
on?
brocha. Give her a brocha that she's gonna marry another Kohen.
Listen, Rabbi Kesselman,
Yes.
he gives a halacha between Mincha and Mariv. And he goes through the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and he's now doing Hilchos Ishus. Like who you get married, pru or vu, you need a boy and a girl, all those halachas. So do you know that it says an Am Haaretz should not marry a Bas Kohen? You have
Okay.
they advise and therefore, so he said that the Lubavitcher Rebbe would tell Chabad guys who were marrying Bas Kohen's, they should learn a Masechta well. And he advised them to learn like small Masechtas, because he said that somebody who knows one Masechta well is not considered an Am Haaretz.
So it's interesting because I think that's the Makor, at least one of them. By Chabad, they learn Gemara Sota during Yemei Sfira. So,
There's
okay, the
49
days
blocks.
kind of line up the same, 49 days or whatever it
Yeah.
is. But it happened to be that this last cycle, Sota for Daf Yomi corresponded to Sfira. So when I was in Oxnard, I'm looking at every Gemara in the world is in the shul. There's no Sota. You can't find a Sota. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they do. Every year they learn Gemara Sota.
Okay, he mentioned Masechta, he mentioned smaller Masechtas so that they could master it. If they were marrying a Bas Kohen, he would not be considered halachically an Am Haaretz.
By the way, Sota is a very difficult Gemara to learn, so it's not so easy to master.
Correct? He didn't mention
Maybe
Masechta.
for Lubavitchers is easy, but for me, as Litvaks, it's not so easy.
Yep.
Okay, so we're on Yud Beis, Amud Beis, Toshma. About 10 lines from the top. Dam Rav Yochanan. We're still in this sugya of, can a master force his Evet to work and not feed him? And we're bringing proofs from different prices. Toshma Dam Rav Yochanan. HaKoteh Yad Avdo Shel Chaveru. Person cuts off the hand of an Eved of his neighbor. Noiten Shifto. So Sheves is the fact that he's not going to be able to work for 2 weeks. So he pays wages, whatever the guy was going to earn for 2 weeks. That's called Sheves. And he pays it to the master. And the money that you have to pay the doctor to heal him, Shifto Refuah Solaraboi. The also Eved. Now, what does the Eved do? Nizam minat staka. He eats based on staka. Shmamina, Yachol Arav Loimer LaEved, Asay Mi Beni Zancha. This again seems to be proof that an owner of an Eved Knani can make him work and not feed him. No, Gemara says no proof. This was a case where the owner was giving him food. Well, why was he getting money for tzedakah? So again, lahadafa, like we learned yesterday, he wanted to eat more than he normally eats. The master gives him what he's required. If he wants more, that he got from tzedakah. It shouldn't say, it should say misparnis meboiling. Elo lav shmamina yachol. So it seems like you can make the Eved work and not feed him. Shmamina? Omar ma. Noisin shifter fossil rabbi. You give his disability, the fact that he was off of work for 2 weeks, the wages and the medical bills to the master. So shifto, so pshita. I mean, the master lost out on the work of the Eved. It seems like a double portion. So the Gemara says refuah so the chiddush is the medical bills. So the Gemara says, what do you mean refuaso the day. So first of all, the payment for the doctor should go to the Eved. The boy Itzuibe, he needs the money to pay the doctor. So Lo Tzricha, the case is more complicated. The doctors originally came and said it's going to take 5 days to heal. But they prepared a very strong medicine that healed them in 3 days. Now, by giving this medicine, he had to suffer through the pain. It lessened the number of days that he was off of work, but maybe that money should go to him. Kamashma, no, even that money goes to the master. Tanya Rabbi Lazar, Amarnu Lameir, why it should be viewed as a schus, not as a liability, that the Eved goes free. It's a liability. If the Eved was a kohen, he was eating truma while living with that master. Now, by being freed, he can't eat truma.
I thought we were talking about an Eved Kanani all along here.
An Eved Kanani is allowed to eat truma. That if a kohen buys an Eved Kanani.
So when we say Eved Cohen here, we mean an Eved of a Cohen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're talking about the Eved is eating. An Eved Kanani can't be a Kohen. An Eved Kanani is a goy who becomes an Eved, but he converts partially. He does mitzvahs like a woman. Eventually, he converts, becomes a full-fledged Jew. So,
but a Cohen can become an Eved Ivri?
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. An Eved Ivri is somebody who, let's say, stole money and then doesn't have the money to pay back, or is in debt to somebody. So he has to sell himself as an indentured servant, and he gets, let's say he owed $6,000. He sells himself for $1,000 a year, 6 years, pays off his debt. Can work to a coin as well. But an Eved Knani that's owned by a Kohen, the Kohen can feed him truma when he's his Kinyan Kaspo, when he belongs to him. But once he frees him, poisloim not truma. So that's why Rav Meir said it's a choivulo. Amarnu v'alo ma im yirtza shalol zon v'shol parnas over shai. But the Rav can not feed him. He's allowed to do it. And therefore, when he frees him, he's not chavim anything. Omer lanu ma ilu eved kohen sheborach. Now, let's say an eved kanani of a kohen runs away, or Eishes kohen shemarda al bala. A wife of a kohen refuses to fulfill the obligation of an Eishes ish that's demanded of her by the ksuba. She's called a rebellious wife. In those cases, even an Eved that runs away, he still can eat truma. And the same thing, a wife. But this Eved that now was freed, can no longer eat truma. He's not kinyan kasp of his kohen. Aval isha choivula. But everyone agrees that when the woman gets a divorce, it's a liability for her. In contradistinction to an Eved, where a master does not have a hischayvus to feed him, a master does have a hischayvus to feed his wife. And therefore, by getting a divorce, she loses out on that. So that's a liability. However, this whole baraisa seems a little disjointed. The answer does not seem to fit the question. My kamer, my kamer, achi kamer. Hishaftuni ala mezoynis. So Rav Meir said you got me good on the issue of the mezainos, because the master is not chayiv to provide mezainos. But matish shiveni ala truma. Well, what answer do you have to me when I pointed out to you, says Rav Meir the Chachamim, that you are invalidating this Eved from eating truma, therefore it's a choy for him. The chitein, maybe you'll answer, ibor zarkli gitu posule, that the master can always throw him a shtar shichrur within arba amos, and therefore he stops him from eating truma. But the Eved doesn't have to pick it up. Shavik levarik vazal. He can run away, not pick up the shichrur, and he can continue to eat truma. Uma ilu Eved koin shabora. If an Eved runs away, ve'eshes koin shemord al bala, halo oichlin betruma, they continue truma v'zeina oichlin. But this kohen who freed an Eved, so the Eved is stuck, and shapir komer luhu. Rav Meir had a good answer for the Chacham. They didn't respond well. That's why eventually in the Mishnah said, "Mipnei shehu kinyono." How do we understand? How do we understand that answer? The iboy shakal arba zuzim Yisrael. If he wants, the master can possibly his Eved from his zechus to eat truma, even if he ran away, because he can take $4 from a Jew as like a tmura for the Eved who passed like a and passel him wherever he is. Basically, he's been paid back for the Eved Kanani. Ul Rav Meir tinich Eved Kohen. Fine, Rav Meir. For an Eved who lives with a Kohen, it's a problem. But Eved Yisrael, there is no special benefit that the Eved gets by living with a Yisrael. There's no truma. There is a loss and the liability for an Eved being free. If you owned an Eved Knani, you could give him a Shifcha Knanis as a wife. And now that he's freed, he's not allowed to be given a Shifcha Knanis. So what do you mean? By freeing him, now he's a full-fledged Jew and he can marry any Jewish woman. Yeah, but Avde behefkera nichale. An Eved would rather not be a Jew. He would rather stay as a half goy and live with a shifcha knanis. Zilale shchichale pritzale. They have immorality, and he likes that better. He can't do it when he's a kosher Jew. So your mafsid is hana. The shifcha. Being meshachrer is not considered a schus, even according to Rav Meir. Even for a Yisrael, not even for a Kohen. Yes, Mark.
I'm gonna stop and start.
Okay. Please. Yud Gimel.